now that we are through all the nonsense, I think it's time to get back to what's important and what matters. And that's Sebastian Rogers and trying to find information to lead to his whereabouts, or the person's responsible, those responsible for his disappearance. Remember, there is a 50,000, I got a hair sticking up. $50,000 reward. There is a $50,000 reward. And I will tell you, if we ever, and this has been a policy of mine since I started this whole entire YouTube channel and anything like that, if I ever, and I mean ever, get a reward, it goes to the family. That's been the policy of this channel since the day we created. Hey, Cheeky Chops, it's nice to see you. I almost wanted, I wish you were closer. I could use a smiling face. I could use a smiling beef. Betty, it's nice to see you. Ellie, where is Bullhorn? Are you talking about Delilah? She's in my lap. If you guys see this behind me, you know where my dog is. So there is that. Mallycat. Aw, hey Karen, it's nice to see you, my love. Donna, Pink Butterfly, it's nice to see you, me and you. I want to give you guys all a hug. I want to give you guys all a hug. It's nice to see you. So the great news is that we now have the orders. We now know they violated the shit out of the orders. Hey Seth, it's nice to see you. And I'm tired of the distractions. You know what I'm saying? Hey Car Guy, it's nice to see you, Mrs. and Mrs. Car Guy. Big hugs and love. They were out there too. They were there. It was so quick when I got out of there. You know, I had to call them and just thank them profusely because nobody knew who they were. We always keep them secret. Because they, you know, just for those reasons. So it's nice to see you guys. But I think with all of the distractions going on, you know, taking the focus off Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, it's very important that we make sure that these animals do not win. This is about Sebastian. This will always be about Sebastian. This is not about petty YouTube BS. This is, you're very welcome. It is my honor. It is my honor. And I'm so sick and tired of the derailing of this case, derailing of the efforts, just the drama, the BS, the nonsense. And it is finally time to get back to who this was all about to begin with. It wasn't about any of these dumb people out here. It's about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And there's a $50,000 reward that is being offered for the safe return of Sebastian, or the successful prosecution of those involved. Those people involved. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you jump. Poor Delilah. She never hears me raise my voice. Even when I'm live, I don't really raise my voice, you know. I guess I always talk loud because of my hearing. You know, I don't think I'll ever not talk loud, but like I'm like saying those, and she's like that. Quit it. I didn't make you jump that time. You did that all by yourself, you drama queen. She jumped a second time. Can you believe it? Hey, the real me too. It's nice to see you, B Betty. I am officially home. I've got a lot of paperwork that's got to get done for my hearing on September 23rd in Illinois. And I've got to get my yard. It's been raining so much here. You know, I've been gone for, I don't even know how long I've been gone on this thing. If you guys hear a car, my neighbors work on cars. It's a pain in the ass. They rent from that place, and all they do is work on cars, paint cars. They have crash cars coming there. They're running basically a auto repair business. Not auto repair, body shop business at the house next door. It's so annoying sometimes. But you know what? The same reason I live in the county instead of the city is the same reason they live in the county instead of the city. It's so nobody will tell us what to do. So you got to take with the good with the bad, right? If you want those luxuries, your neighbors have to have those luxuries. But it just like it sucks. It sucks. But they're nice, and they're the ones that gave me the lawnmower. Let's not forget, I'm still wearing the injuries from the lawnmower, right? So we need to get focused back on Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We absolutely, without a doubt, know that there is a 17 to 24 hour gap in time for his stepfather. We absolutely know that he was last seen on a video, what everybody dubs, I know you're here, Seth, so just, you've said, I think you've said this word too, the proof of life video, right? So we know that Saturday evening at 6:30, Sebastian was well, and he was getting in a car, getting ready to make his rounds to his house. Hold on, give me just a second, guys. I'll be right back. The FBI reward is attached to Clarksville, and it's attached to Clarksville because Sebastian, that's where Seth lives, and Sebastian's only official state ID is registered to his home with Seth. So if anybody's curious about that. So either way, this is a huge major thing. If anybody has any information about the parties involved in this case, if they have any information on seeing a car leave that community, you know, we're estimating about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the in the morning rather, that there was a vehicle there. If anybody's seen anything, if anybody, you know what, the one thing I've noticed is like, even like people that don't, how can we say this, people that don't think that they have information are some of the people that have the one nugget that breaks the case wide open, right? I've seen it so many times over the years, you know, watching all the stuff that we watch from the first 48 hours to after the first 48 hours to like Joe Kenda. I mean, to be honest with you, these are educational things. I mean, they are entertaining. I watched them on TV. They were very interesting. They sucked me in. Forensic Files, same thing. But they are legitimate cases, and you're going through the casework. Cold Justice is another one that showed us great strategy on doing like the canvassing and you know, putting the war board together and stuff like that. Although these are on TV and although we consider them entertainment, they are very much educational as they are entertainment. Betty, please take a look at a few. Hold on. Please take a few and look at the last couple of videos posted. I have, in all fairness, and I don't. I think he's good. I'm so thankful that there are people talking about the case first and foremost, right? And that stuff in and of itself brings attention to Sebastian. And I love the fact that there's different perspectives out there because, in all fairness, we need those different perspectives. However, the whole idea that this is a sedan, I haven't seen his overlay of this, whatever sedan he believes it is, on those lights. But it did, from my understanding, everything that I watched, somebody sent me one of his videos. I do like him. I think he's absolutely chill. But I don't agree with the whole sedan finding. And the reason why I don't agree with the whole sedan finding is because on that back halo, you can clearly see a hatch. That is why I don't, to me, I can see it crystal clear. It's a hatch. It's not a window, you know, and cars are smaller. They have trunks and a angled window. You're not seeing that in that photo. You're not seeing that at all. Let me just see. Black Land Rover, no tag, front LE bra, parked in a driveway within the neighborhood, a home around the corner. Who owns that? Any? Thank you, Sasha. I don't know. That's the first time I've heard about that. Is the timestamp from 2:23? I don't think the timestamp's from 2:23. I can't remember what the time. I didn't see the timestamp. Well, maybe we did see the timestamp. I don't know what's on Nick Barris's video. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I know that my quick access to the Nick Barris video is through guidance, and she blew it up, which is what we wanted, so we could see that. And I've also seen his overlay, and I kind of don't agree that the light source was that close to the back of the neighbor's house. not from when I was there visually looking at it, because you got to remember, I looked at this, the land, I looked at the video, I was out there at night. Some people were getting a little frustrated about the windows, but what people don't understand, like that ruckus video, and I just wanted to explain this to you. It's not that, people are going to believe what they're going to believe, right? But I can tell you, when I was there at night to get the lay of the land, and I could clearly see that the lights weren't from the outside shining toward the garage. Okay, the garage lights were on, so any movement that was picked up was not a reflection of movement prior to the garage. So any of that stuff would have had to have been whatever was obstructing those lights in the garage from the camera. And the only thing that's there is these trees. Okay. And even though if trees, I can't, I wasn't there in February, so I don't know if those trees have leaves. There are some trees that do keep their leaves even in freezing cold weather. But even if they were sticks, that could explain a lot of it. Because even though a tree doesn't have leaves, the branches, even with the slightest wind, I used to live out in the country. Trust me, trees without leaves on it, the branches still move. And everything I could see was that the light source was from inside the garage, not outside of the garage. And whatever was moving in front of the lights, not the other way around. And that was being captured by the camera. Now, if the lights were on the outside shining into the garage, then you would be picking up the stuff going on the outside of the garage. And that's not what we have. So I love, I don't think that everything, I don't disagree with everything the mob crew says at all. I actually agree with a lot of the stuff that's been said on that particular channel. But when it comes to these two aspects, I was able to preview them with my own eyes in the daytime as well as the nighttime. And I disagree with the assessment, but to each their own. It gives a new perspective. It gives people something to dive into and look into. Who knows? Something may come of it. Just because I think it doesn't make it so, right? But when it comes to the vehicle, it's hard because I've studied it so much, and you can clearly see the whole silhouette. I mean, of all the things on the vehicle that you can see the full silhouette of the back of an SUV. So now, like I said, whenever I was stalked by that family member, I saw the back end. Actually had it on my video and was able to cut that. But I tell you what, it wasn't until I saw that and I saw the back and I did see the indentation right where that one little weird light that was reflecting, right? It was way away from all the other, like the back hatch of it. It was right down there. And I don't know, that's just my opinion. So the sunrise was at 6:20 on Monday, February 26th. Well, they were able to determine, my understanding from Miss Bobby's interview is that they were able to determine that video had to have been videotaped between 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning, even though the time was stuck. And the reason why they know that is Miss Bobby explained it, that they timed it, from when the bus, then the trash truck came through. So the school bus came through first, and then the trash truck came through after. And they said it was about 2 hours later. And they know the school bus or the trash truck, whatever, comes in at 5:30. Or maybe the trash truck maybe it was the trash truck, then the school bus. I can't remember. I got to go back and listen to it. But one of them came in at 5:30, and that's their normal time coming in. And so therefore, they believe it was between 3:30 and 4. So that was, they did give us an explanation why they assumed it was that time, and the explanation does make sense because again, this is their community, and there are two things that happen every Monday morning: trash pickup and school bus, right? So if that's the case, then they know that these things come in about the same time every single morning. So deductive reasoning really does. Thank you, car guy SUV. Someone's camera may have seen it on Friday. If they tested the jammers with it, they should look at all vehicles that came in out Friday. I'm pretty sure they did. Obviously, there's a leak in Sumner County Sheriff's Department because we're seeing posts on Facebook now. Whether that's true or not, I do believe it is true. I believe there is a leak in the Sumner County. I believe there's a few leaks in Sumner County Sheriff's Department. Personally speaking, I that's just what I believe. I mean, all the personal complaints aside, I truly believe I know for a fact that there are at least a couple leaks in their department leaking out information through family on social media platforms. And obviously the audience caught up on that because you guys have sent me several screenshots of several posts that's being posted in Facebook groups saying that, you know, the wife of blah 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 whatever, and this is what they are saying, and they're getting close. And so how, you know, we can't corroborate that, but it makes it believable, especially since we know that there are leaks coming out of the Sumner County Sheriff's Department that should not be. I mean, you are there to protect and serve. And leaking things out to social media is not protecting and serving. It's definitely not protecting and serving the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I can tell you that. Hey, Letty 7 Up. It's nice to see you. Extra big hug for Betty. Oh, thank you. Thank you. God bless you. I think he was told by neighbors they thought it was a sedan. He's willing to do more overlays. Yeah, because I'd like him to line. I think once he starts trying to line it up, and you can't fit a sedan in that halo unless you have to blow it up so stinking big, and then the bumper's not going to line up right. I think if he did the overlay on the sedan, I think he will probably, I don't think it's going to line up like he thinks it's going to line up, but I'd like to see, you know, I'm not discrediting it because literally everything's on the table. And like I said, just because I don't think so, doesn't mean I'm not a reasonable person. You bring me legit stuff and I you know, that I can agree with. And yes, but, the way I'm seeing it is I just don't see it because, I mean, it's kind of like this, you know, you got the little ripple right there, but it's like this. It's not, it's people that have cars know that you have a trunk and then you got a kind of an angled window in the back. That's what's making it hard for me to visualize when you see that whole kind of rounded back end of this thing, and you can clearly see at the top, like the lights are down here, and you can still clearly see kind of the, it just looks like a hatch to me. And until I can see and see what he's seeing, like with an overlay, I don't know if I'm going to change my position on that. I would have to, it would take an overlay of the vehicle he thinks it is, or playing with several sedans and seeing what lines up with those lights and that halo coming off that back end. That's, you know, I'm not discrediting it whatsoever. I need more information. You know what I'm saying? Because I am so stuck on what I saw that it's going to take something just as convincing to take me away from that, if that makes sense. They're saying the cameras messed up Friday, the Friday before. But who's saying that? Because it's not Miss Bobby. And it's not the neighbors. So anybody that's saying that at this point to me seems like it's rumor or speculative. We definitely have concrete information from Miss Bobby, and although second nature, right? Secondhand information. But she was believable to me. I don't see the, she's the person that set up the community Facebook group, right? So she's kind of got a little bit, she's got a little more meat in the bone when it comes to what's the goings and comings of that particular community. and she, you know, vouched for the lady that spoke to this information. Now we do have to apply a little telephone in her statement, just because naturally there's going to be a few things that she misunderstood, right? So you got to apply the telephone factor, but even in the telephone, it's hard to get some key things wrong, right? The major stuff. You might get certain details wrong, but I don't know if you're going to get the major stuff from one person to another person. Now, if it was one person to another person to another person to another person to another person, yeah, there's going to be a lot more that's lost in translation. But from number one to number two, you know, it's going to be fairly accurate, but we still have to apply the you know, people are human beings and make mistakes, and so there may be some information, some details that aren't 100%. So we do have to apply that. They supposedly did a trial run on Friday before. But again, who's saying that, and how do we corroborate that? You know, was it a neighbor that came forward? You know, in what creator? Because I'm telling you, depending on what channel creator that this information comes from is going to make me decide whether I think it's mostly true or mostly false. I'll tell you that right up front. You're gonna believe what you want to. Yeah, just like everybody else, Miss Page. You know, just like everybody else, you're gonna believe what you want to as well, right? The recent new clip posted by Fox Nashville shows that the morning that he went missing, and the garbage truck is in the background in broad daylight picking up trash at 6 something in the morning. Can you send that to me? That would be great. How did I get all the way up to the very top? Unless something's not right. Can you send, is it possible for you to send that to me, please? I heard CP and KP were on. No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't. I don't know why this won't. Every time something goes up, it used to let me scroll all the way up, but it won't. Oh, Michelle, thank you. Thank you for fighting for what's right. Absolutely. What about KP's friend who was visiting with her son? What vehicle? It was an SUV, and it was a dark SUV. I can't remember the make. I don't think I saw it, because I think it was, because remember when I did see it, I thought that it was her new vehicle or something to that effect, and I don't think that was. And that's when I learned they said that her friend, and I'm like, they have friends, because you know their neighbors was very clear they don't have people visiting. And then I realized it was the only friend that came out. Like, she hadn't seen Katie in like, I don't know, 8 years or something like that. And she was the only one that came out in their defense. And then all of a sudden, she's over at their house for I don't know how long, doing I don't know what, you know, none of our business. But it doesn't sound like they would have, unless I got the people wrong, you know, but that's what I was told, is that the person that came out and spoke for Katie, she was kind of dogging Seth, which is what they kind of wanted at the time, right? Everybody's been wanting everybody to dog Seth. I don't understand why. He's the only innocent person in all of this, with all the parents, right? Like, Sebastian wasn't at his house when he disappeared. Seth was at work when he disappeared. Seth took a polygraph, and those results were publicly announced on the Nancy Grace show. Nobody else in the family have done that. So I never really understood why the attacks on Seth. But when you remove all the noise and you look at the whole situation from a bird's eye, you very clearly see what happened. Some people got their hurt feelings. Tony came in. He wanted to calm the noise. He felt, I don't think he felt that people were taking advantage of him, but he would, had some conversations, and whatever those were, I wasn't privy to those. And it was just a measure to kind of calm the storm before it came, and people didn't like it and caused even a bigger storm. And that's what I don't understand, because at the end of the day, this is a 15-year-old boy that needs everybody's hands on deck. We don't have the luxury of having pissing contests when a 15-year-old boy is missing. But if you don't think I'm going to call somebody out when they're like literally lying, intentionally and willfully lying about a case to hurt someone over hurt feelings, I got something to say about that. Drama, call me a drama queen. I don't really give a crap, okay? There's something within me that just doesn't like that, and I have a mouth and I use it, okay? I was called the mouth of the South at 2 years old. Things have not changed very much, you know, just saying. If they use jammers, but again, jammers imply that they would, I mean, in order for them to have jammers, they would have, so you guys are implying that this is premeditated, is what you're saying, I guess, is what the audience is trying to imply here. Is that, and we really haven't, I hate that my stuff goes away. I guess there's just too many people writing, it won't let me go up. So, I don't know. You know, I've always been on the fence about this, whether it was, you know, I truly believe the parents, the mom and the stepfather, absolutely without a doubt have not been forthcoming about information. And I share that with many professionals on this platform. And we're not talking about the unprofessional idiots with microphones, okay? We're talking about the professionals on this platform that cover true crime, the Jennifer Coffendaffers, the Chris McDonoughs, the Peter Hyatts, you know, those people on here. And it sounds like everybody that has been or formerly in law enforcement, it sounds like they all agree that something isn't right here, that there are some major red flags here, that, you know, this child was with his mother. He was seen that evening with his mother and only his mother, according to, if I'm mistaken, Seth, please publicly correct me. But I'm almost confident that he was seen just with his mother, and it sounds like he was getting in the car. And I remember, I don't know what words Seth used, but I remember it being something, he wasn't as happy as he thought he should be leaving a restaurant or something to that effect. So there was, I think it did seem as if Seth may have picked up on his behavior not being right for the environment, you know, so to speak. But the bottom line is he was there at 6:30 on the 25th. And according to his mother, they went straight home. He took out the garbage because that's his chore. And that he went into his room, and that was it. You know, around 6:30 when after he took out the garbage, from my understanding, the way it was stated is that he was in his room. And the way the story was told, you know, there's again multiple variations of this story. And I can never discern whether his mother saw him that night or not. Because you don't hear her talk about his evening routines. Did he brush his teeth? Did he come out and brush his teeth? Did he take a shower before going to bed? You know, Monday's coming. He was out all day. Obviously, a very, 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 we all agree it was a very busy day, right? I mean, if you guys agree that it was somebody said, what does this say? Oh, Leslie, thank you. Thank you for being who you are. I love how much you stand up when it's needed. Thank you. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. You're welcome. But you hear no details about that. You would think that those details would have been part of the story, you know? He got ready for bed. He brushed his teeth. He took a shower. I mean, it's Sunday. Let me get back to the poll. What I was going to say is, how many people with the show of ones and twos, right? Shows of ones and twos. If you believe, if your child is no, let me go back even further. Do you believe that he had a very active and busy Sunday? That is February 25th. If you believe he had a very busy and active Sunday, some may even go as far as saying overstimulating, but I don't want to go that far for this poll. If you believe he had or he had a very active day, put a 1 in the chat. If you do not believe he had a very active day, put a 2 in the chat. Aw, hey Dorothy, it's nice to see you, my love, all the way from Denmark. Haters can't even not watch. I know, because I bring it, right? I have information, right? We talk about this stuff. Oh well, they'll never be me. That's the best part about it, and thank God they're not, right? Because what a piece of shit they'd be, right? What a piece of shit. Going out looking for kids, going out and doing whatever, right? What a piece of shit. Yeah, so what's everyone having for dinner? I had lobster bisque. I had Publix delivery. All right, so I think for the majority, there looks like there's a few 2s in here, and that's okay. But for the majority, it looks like everybody believes it was pretty busy. So if you have a busy day on a Sunday, your child's going to school first thing in the morning. You wake them up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Don't you think a kid takes a shower before they go to bed? You're moving my camera. Just saying. We're filming here. Don't you? But wouldn't that be like part of your routine? You have a child, anybody, right? Not just the child, even his mother, right? Get in the shower, go to bed, right? We never heard any showers that night, did we? We never heard not one shower because she just wakes up on the couch, right? Right before midnight, and she was in bed by midnight sleeping. It didn't leave any room for a shower. Nobody had a shower in the house. Nobody brushed their freaking teeth in the house. I could be wrong. I'm just saying that. I would think that it would be in the story somewhere. And I haven't heard any of those details in the story. I mean, when you're talking about what happened the night before, I would think getting in the shower and brushing his teeth would be part of the story, or, getting ready for bed. I would not have had a shower either. Really? You wouldn't have a shower after a long day out all day? I don't know. I mean, there's been times I've been ready to drop dead and I'm like, screw it, I'll take a shower in the morning. So I get that. I get that argument, but it's usually not on a Sunday when I've got to be up at 6 a.m. the next morning. Shower, homework, snack, brush teeth, crime addict. There you go. True crime addict. And when is he given his Good point. Cast an image. So these are all these questions that we have about that evening. What really truly transpired. But getting back to it, we do have the fact that he was at the Texas Roadhouse. Now, the neighbors stated that there was someone that took the garbage out. I would have to assume that Sebastian taking the garbage out, I know people are going to beat me up for this, but I do believe it was him, okay? I believe Sebastian took the garbage out to the road. I think even in a hazy image, through minor calculations, some brainiac mathematician guy, I don't know what they call can do and say, oh, this is this height and this weight, right? It's kind of because the angles, lighting, I mean, they do some amazing stuff. Trust me, I've watched it. I remember they caught a guy that unalived his, I think it was his girlfriend or his family or something like that. It was years ago. And he was trying, it was premeditated. And so he was trying to stage a fishing trip. So he's on a boat, and it's a little John boat, and he's fishing off of it while recording himself, which is weird. Okay. I've been on a lot of fishing boats before. The last thing I'm doing is recording myself and you're talking about Bullhorn Betty that always has a phone and always recording, right? I would not be recording myself. There's several reasons why. Boats are, move around, right? So you're talking about a major piece of equipment. Back then, in those days, I don't think phones cost that much, but nowadays they do. But still falling over, and it was just weird. But anyways, they were able to catch him in the lie because of the angle of the sun in his video. Because of the angle of the sun in the video, how it was hitting his face. They couldn't see the sun, but they could see the angles, and they did some calculations and were able to determine the exact time he was there. Tell me how wild that is. It was wild. So I believe with some minor calculations, they would be able to determine the height and weight of at least the figure that they see at the garbage cans. Now, we can agree Sebastian has a much different physique than, say, his mother. Okay? The shadow of this physique of him would be shorter and much slimmer than, say, that of his mother, the only other person we know that was with him at the time. So I think that they would be able to determine without a shadow of a doubt whether or not that would have been Sebastian taking that garbage out. So moving on from that, I just believe that when he went into the room, there's things going on, because those details from the time he brought the garbage in or out to the road, all the details from that moment, that key and critical moment, are very vague. Sandy, it's nice to see you, my love. It's nice to see you. 7 True, that was a lot of moving around, but it would be good to take a shower after all those events. Yes, that's what I'm saying. But even if, we understand teenage boys. I'm sure you guys have teenage boys, okay? No offense, but teenage boys are stinky, right? Let's face it, teenage boys are slobs, okay? They don't really, they're kind of, seat of the pants. So we got slobby, stinky kids, okay? Our teenage boys are slobby, stinky kids. I'm just joking, not all of them, don't die. I'm not painting with a broad brush. But so I get it if, say, it was like a Friday night or a Saturday night and they had a fun day, and it's like, I'm just gonna go to bed. I mean, okay, so I get it, guys. Kids are kids, right? But not on a Sunday. Not on a Sunday going into a school day, okay? But we've all had the stinky teenage boys. We all, come on, don't lie. Your kid was a little stinky too once upon a time. Come on, don't lie. Don't lie to Miss Betty. You would have thought he would have had homework to finish. Great point too, Peggy. Great point too. Yeah, homework and things, getting ready for school the next day. We heard none of that. Oh, thank you, Texas Cowgirl Up. God bless you. Thank you for that. But Justin says that the Roadhouse video was from Saturday. It was from Saturday. Oh, no. It wasn't Saturday. No, because Seth, it was definitely Sunday, because Seth saw it. They remember, if you guys remember, law enforcement, the stepfather wasn't around, right? The stepfather wasn't around. So at the time that law enforcement called Seth and Katie to come up to law enforcement, remember? And it was just Seth and Katie there, and he was able to see it. And it was confirmed by law enforcement that it was Sunday at around 6:30, I believe, 6, something like that. I don't want to put a specific time on it because I'm a little hazy on the specific time. Mob Scrooge said that he doubts key players use their own cars, so they probably... You would be surprised. Danella, or is it Danelle? Danelle? I hope I said it right. I hate butchering people's names, but my hook on phonics is broke. I do agree that but you're that's what makes me believe that if something did happen, it was not very well. When you're jammed up, you use what you can. If that makes sense. That's just my personal belief. But if there is if people believe that there's a premeditation aspect with it, then I can see them saying, they wouldn't have used their vehicle, this, that, and the other. But you guys know that my primary thought process on this and opinion about this case is not that it was premeditated or pre-planned or in any way. It was a split decision type of thing. I think that's what triggered the 3-hour conversation personally. But I'm completely unsure at this moment whether or not. But if it was not a premeditated or pre-planned event, then you're looking at things happening really late at night, not a lot of moving room. You kind of got to use what you need to use, but you don't want to use yours, right? And so that really would apply to mob crew and what they said, because in fairness, I don't see a pickup truck there, and in my opinion, what I'm looking at is a full-size SUV. So that wouldn't be anybody's vehicle in that house or anybody's vehicle that that would be associated with that house. So there we have it. It just doesn't make sense. My teenage kids, after a day out, would not shower at night. Now they cut grass. Oh, Samantha, can I borrow your kids? I need my yard mowed. Do you live in Florida, or do I have to fly them in? I'm just joking. So in all fairness, if it's the people that we think it is, then they did use somebody else's vehicle. So really, we can agree with him in that respect, right? He also said it was a completely different car compared to what I understand, but he never did the overlay. I'd like to see him put that vehicle on there and see if it lines up. I put the vehicle on there to see if it lined up. And he obviously can do overlays. So if he can do overlays, why didn't he line a vehicle vehicle make and model up to what he thought it was, so we can get a clear picture and just visualize it. He made sure everything else was visualized, but not that aspect, and that's the one thing I have a problem with. But it sounds like somebody else in chat just sat there and said that he's willing to do more overlays. I'd like to see a vehicle because again, a sedan has an angled window on the back. We're not seeing an angled window here. We can see the whole thing. So that's what I have oh, hey sissy, it's nice to see you. That's where I think if he put the overlay over it, I'd be able to see what he's seeing, because when you're doing things, like, you see what you see, right? Like, even let's say a Dolly painting, right? You see, Dolly was very clever in his paintings. He had several different paintings in one. I don't know if a lot of people know that. And so you can get a different view of what this painting looks like by a different angle. Like if you're up looking down, or you're down looking up, or you're looking to the side. It's really interesting how Salvador Dali did his artwork. And so he saw something as he's painting that together, right? And when he's doing it, nobody sees what he sees until the final product. And sometimes you can look at the painting and not see the other things he painted in. So it's one of those things that if he were to do the overlay and give us the visualization of the overlay, maybe it'll click. You know what I'm saying? Maybe then I can see what he's seeing, but right now I can't. Just looking at what I'm seeing, because I see a hatch. I see a full hatch on the back of this vehicle. A full hatch. Even with an indentation. And you can clearly see that. I wish I had, ooh, I might. And you clearly see this like beveled thing, and it's something that's very specific to a specific make and model of, at least make of a vehicle. Like there's a little, like, it's hard to explain here. You guys need to go back and look at it. But I don't want to discredit him. I know it's a lot of hard work, and these are all just our opinions because we weren't there, right? But what I'm seeing there is a full-size SUV. Now, whose it is, that's up for speculation. You guys know who I think it is. We'll leave it at that. I used to think she accidentally lost it, but but after the mob crew, tell them to be careful. Tell them to be careful. Use KP and CP. I don't want him getting jammed up unlawfully, right? Only in Sumner County. I now believe it was planned. Much love and respect. All from Kingsport. Kingsport, I love that. Kingsport is where Layla Santinello is. Been with me since Gabby. Well, thank you. I love that. I love that. I actually had an opportunity to speak to Jen. You know, Layla's case hasn't really been getting a lot of attention on it, and I'd like to, you know, help her out, bring some more attention to her daughter's case. Her daughter's case hasn't been solved. Her daughter hasn't came home. Another Tennessee case. You know, it's I've watched Jen fall apart and pick herself back up. That is one strong lady. That is one strong lady. Every single one of our parents, you know, I just see it's so it's emotional because you see them at their almost worst moments, and you see the strength within them. You know, this beast that just wants answers, and it's like she's still here fighting for her daughter over a year later, and she's still scratching and clawing and still keeping her focused on her daughter. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, but in the same sense, it's amazing. I don't know, you know, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but the strength that I see parents have in some of their weakest moments is it's almost poetic. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, Angela. I'm very curious if KP had to work that Monday morning, the 26th. Interesting. You know, I don't think that's ever came up. No scent of Sebastian by trash cans. Huh, interesting. I don't know if I necessarily believe that either. And I didn't think of it. Sorry, my lips are dry. I didn't think about this, but one thing that Jennifer Coffendaffer said was that she felt that the dog tracking was a little confusing. You know, like a little confused. Somebody that should have had a handle on that didn't. And again, that's her opinion, based upon her experience as an FBI law enforcement agent, and I'm pretty sure she was a trainer, if I'm not mistaken. Gina made me because it can't. Gina, maybe she can't get 10:30 off of her mind because maybe that's when. Actually, Peter Hyatt believes that it would have happened right before the phone call. If we're looking at that angle, that it would happen right before that 9:43, 9:46 phone call. That's how the old days cowboys told time. Yes, like a sundial almost. They used him or the light or the angle or something like that as a sundial. It was really neat. I wish I would have remembered the case, but it's been so many years. It's kind of funny that, you know, you watch this stuff. I can't remember how long ago I watched some of this stuff. And you can remember details, specific details of cases. And I know it's because it had to have been just that interesting to me even that many years ago. But I remember it. And he kept coming back. And what they believe he did was pull, like, you know, get in his boat, to act like he was fishing. And then as soon as he took that first shot of him fishing, he ended up parking his boat, getting in his, like tying his boat up somewhere there and getting in his truck, leaving. And that's how they were able, because they could tell that he was in the boat at, I want to say like 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll just give that as an example. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't remember, but I know it was the morning. But we'll say 9 o'clock in the morning. So they could tell because of where the sun was positioned behind him. But then the cameras come back on in a second video that he tries to make people believe that it was just, you know, more fishing of the same spot. But the sun was clearly not in the same direction. And they could tell where he was pointing because they took pictures of this area, and they could tell where the tree was behind him, and could figure out where it was really interesting how they did all of this. It was amazing. And they could tell that when he took the video in the morning, that it was in the morning, like 9 something, and then they could tell when he was trying to act like it was just an hour later, it was truly like 4 or 5 or 6 hours later, because or maybe not that long, maybe at least 2 or 3 hours later, when the sun was in a different position. It was just really neat. I don't remember all the key little minor details of it, but they used him as almost the sundial. Kevin Dowley, forensic file. Shadow of a doubt. Car guy, I don't know how you do it. I cannot believe he just named the show. And that would be exactly the video that Forensic Files is absolutely. Want everybody go watch it. Kevin Dowling, Forensic File episode, Shadow of a Doubt. Thank you, car guy. I don't know how you do it. I can't believe I'm talking about a case and he knew what case I was talking about. I pray this guy who did the video I just spoke about is right about someone messed up everyone's Ring camera, possibly an abductor parked at 3. But why would an abductor, and who would this abductor be? You got to look at this situation about possibility versus probability, right? Is it possible that there was an abductor and there's this elite organization to kidnap a disabled kid? Yeah, but what is a stranger danger type of thing, but what is the probability of that? He was very sheltered. He was always around adults. He didn't go to school by himself, didn't come home by himself. He didn't, there are some questions there. Could it just, when you start hearing things like that, and no offense by any stretch of the imagination, it almost sounds too movie-esque, too cinematic, but not steeped in, it just doesn't seem probable. It seems possible. Yes, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it doesn't seem probable for the situation and for everything that we know about Sebastian, his home life, his routines, and everything like that. That's the problem I'm having. Those are Saturday kind of activities. Did Seth see the video? Oh, this thing's popping up on me. Going to the garbage? I don't think so. I don't want to speak for him. I don't know. I know we haven't. How we learned about it is because a neighbor talked to the officer, and the officer told the neighbor that yes, because they knew he took the garbage out or something like that, and yes, the garbage was out, and yes, he took the garbage out. They had him on video taking the garbage out. People are saying it was too dark that night, but if he took the garbage out at 6:30, it should have still been light enough for them to see, without it being too hazy or foggy. Just in my opinion. Now, we don't know. What abductor runs back to the house? And then there's that, Stephanie. Then there's that, right? We can't forget about the light that went back. So, check over schoolwork, shower, brush teeth, nighttime routines. Exactly. Cheryl, thank you. Neighbors are telling what's on their camera. Well, yeah. Well, where are those interviews? If they're talking, if the neighbors are talking, the only neighbor I heard of is Miss Bobby. And there was one crackpot that called into that dreadhead, and the little, she likes to fish in other people's ponds. Go. Um, she had somebody call in, but that was easily corroborated as untrue because everything on her channel just about is untrue. Serenity, with the reward, I would love to be a fly on the wall. I know. I bet some people are a little worried. That was a lot of bank. That was a lot of bank. Like I was just in shock because, to be honest with you, I don't think Seth knew about it and was waiting for the approval, but Seth wasn't, like, I hadn't talked to Seth in a while, so it was a shock to me that it was approved, and not only approved, but approved at like a real significant amount of money that could really make a difference in this case. This is now, in all fairness, in this area, in the Hendersonville area, it seems like the people in Hendersonville are have a little more money. It's kind of like, in city, out of city type of thing. So I feel like these people, somebody had to have heard something, but the 50,000 is kind of to the level that somebody's willing to open their gums, and speak. So, I mean, that's what I think everybody's hoping for. We don't know what is going to go with this. All I can say is that this is the information we have. This is my opinion of the information we have, and this is the reasons why, right? Can the FBI listen? I don't know, Pam. Listen, I honestly, the short answer is with probable cause, yes. Okay. But here's the problem. Like, one of the family members, the stepfather, took off for 17 to 24 hours, going only 3 hours away to pick up a camper. That is all kind of sus all over it, just for the simple fact that it should not have taken that long. And who would leave their grieving wife behind that's missing her disabled son? Like, who gives a rat's patootie about that? Send a family member. I mean, hell, they have a whole family of construction workers. They couldn't send one person over there with a truck, with a fifth wheel? I call BS on that. Especially construction companies, people in construction, they have big, heavy equipment that needs to be, I'm sure one of the people there has a fifth wheel that they could hook this trailer up and bring it back so Chris didn't have to leave his grieving wife. It no matter how you look at it, it makes no sense to me. My opinion, which I'm entitled to. The neighbor in front of Sebastian's house said that she and her husband saw Sebastian in camera, Sebastian taking the trash out, and no one came out the front door the night. That's it. Yes, Samantha. Bingo. Her silence and body language says it all. Are you kidding me? My arrest says it all. My arrest says it all. That family spent more time chasing me down than they did their own son. I'm sorry. I have a right to say that. That's what happened. That's the truth. And I'm not going to take that away from anybody in that household. At all. They make me sick. So, there is that. I've done a few turnaround trips to Memphis from Hendersonville, and I'm a senior citizen. Yeah. So, and another thing I find problematic is, why didn't his mother go inside the school? Why didn't his mother go inside the school? In my opinion, I think Ellie and the feds have a lot. I'm hoping the reward will get someone to turn on the other. Me too. Well, and I've told you guys from the beginning, I thought Sumner County had a lot more. I mean, if we were able to find out as much as I found out, and there's still some things that haven't, that we haven't publicly spoke on this channel about. But if I can find everything that I found out about this case, I have to think that law enforcement, I said this, I don't even know how many times I've said this. I feel like I've said it 100 times. If I have this information, I feel like law enforcement has even more, right? I seen that was livid. I wanted to come bail you out myself, but I'm in Texas. It was. I'm like, what the? You know what? That was some BS out of BS, and I'm gonna mock the crap out of that sheriff. Time and a place. Time and a place. You know how I get my revenge? It's called November. I hope people are smarter than to keep that. You know, he wasn't even Sonny's first pick. He was like Sonny's 6th or 7th pick. Like even though Sonny's wife is saying, yeah, let's keep him, it wasn't even Sonny's pick. Sonny had like 5 to 6 more people ahead of him. He wanted to be the deputy or the whatever sheriff. Not all police departments are created equal. That one needs to be shut down. I don't know how a woman could stay in the same house with a man that wanted her son out of the house. But you know what's so sad to me, moreover, is that Seth should have his son in school, in his first days of school right now. Oh, thank you forever, Nickies. You know what I'm saying? He should have his son right there, right now, doing online schooling, and he should be a full-time dad right now. Right now. Seth was robbed of that, and so was Sebastian. Where's Sebastian? Where's Sebastian? The people that, and the 5 wives, let's not forget about that. I truly believe there are people that have information that haven't come forward or haven't been truthful. I really hope this $50,000 reward to locate Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is beneficial and helpful. This is a great opportunity for people. If you have the time, get out and look, right? Go out and post a sign on your pole. You don't want to go through all that, but you want to honor this boy? Make a green ribbon. Buy a green ribbon. Put it on your pole. Change out your front light bulb. Make it Sebastian color, right? Green, right? Make it green. Turn it on every evening for an hour for him. Light a candle for him. There's so much that we can do, and we need to do it. For those that are a little more active, we still need the whole I-40 corridor checked. We still need other places checked. You know, we need all the bridges looked at. All the bridges in and out, around there, under there. We need all of that, right? These are things. $50,000 is on the table, folks. If you have the ability to help, help. You know, there's something each and every one of us can do to help find Sebastian Rogers. And that's the name of the game right now. So again, once again, from all the BS drama going on, it's time to refocus right back to where it needs to be, right back to where they don't want it to be. On their son, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. It seems so funny that the only person that's fighting for this boy is his biggest rooter on the sideline, his father, Seth Rogers. We need to remember that. We're not going to let anybody take our voice, because taking our voice is taking Sebastian's voice. All right, guys, go make it a great night. God bless you. See you soon.